Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the month of June. If there's any information you want to know, have a look in the description box because chances are I've put it in there already. I'll put in the decks that I use. It's also got all of my social media links, so I'm off Facebook and Instagram, and I've recently returned to Twitter. So if that's your bag, come and check me out there, because I think Twitter is actually better for, just having chats with than the other platforms. So that's cool. What else? If you value the work that I do and you want to support me, then there's a link to donate and then PayPal for one-off. But I have launched Patreon finally, after much haranguing from people. I've done it. So if you see the value of what I do and you want to support me on a more regular basis, the Patreon is there, and it starts from like £3 a month, and it would mean the world to me. Come and join the patrons that are already signed up. It's just donations at the moment, but I am, as I get more comfortable with the platform, I'm going to look at putting more stuff on there, so just keep an eye on it. Do I have anything else to tell you? There will be an extended at the end of this video. That'll be in the description box down there. And I'm trialling something new this month, which is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, which is shadow reads for the collective, because I genuinely do believe that we're born with a collective shadow, and it forms part of our journey, kind of integrating that into our whole. It's really, really important to me, but it is quite rough and ready at the moment. I'm just pulling 3 cards, and they're very short. They're only like 5-10 minutes long. And the idea is to try and get you thinking, right? Kind of opening up a dialogue with that internal bit of you that you are not aware of and that you don't look at. I should warn you, by definition, they are uncomfortable because they are the parts of yourself that you find, objectionable, that you kind of stuff into the shadow and don't acknowledge. So gird your loins and only go in if you're feeling brave, because shadow work is hard. That's what it is. So have I got anything else to say? I think that's probably it. Check out the description box, do that. So these one last really good shuffle. I think we're there. So let's have a look and see. Get 3 cards for Taurus for June, please. 3 cards for Taurus. Oh, there's the first one. Ace of Pentacles. That's in your recent past. I like that. Straight. More cards for Taurus, please. Noise. Wheel of Fortune. Ooh, I like that. That's in your current energy. It's really, really good. And even as I'm looking at it, I can just the symbolism on that card seems to carry over. Big round circle thing going on. Anyway, we'll get to that. It's coming in for Taurus in June, please. What does Taurus need to know? Well, fuck off. Yeah, I'm not taking all of those. That's ridiculous. That's like 6 cards there. Shuffle them back in. It's coming towards Taurus for June, please. Knight of Pentacles. Interesting, and I like it actually for you. At the bottom of the deck we've got the 3 of Cups. And that talks about, well, for me more often than not, it talks about the value of your support network, actually, your friends and your family, the people that you kind of enjoy spending time around, who lift you up in some way. Soul family, that's what we're talking about. Ooh, right, we're using the Said Tarot to clarify, which is a deck that I have not used really at all in the several years that I've owned it, and then all of a sudden it just kind of popped out at me and was just like, use me. So those cards straight. Let's get some clarifiers and then we'll get on with this. So where's it? Really? Okay. Try that again. Why is the Ace of Pentacles here for Taurus, please? Got the Page of Cups. And the King of Swords. Nice. I like that. Where's the Wheel of Fortune here for Taurus, please? Got the Seven of Swords. Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune. Intriguing. Where's the Knight of Pentacles here for Taurus, please? We've got the Fool. Love it. And what else? And Two of Wands. Interesting. At the bottom of the deck, we have got the Hanged Man, which is interesting. It's the card of Pisces, but it talks about looking at things from a different perspective to gain wisdom, right? Now, the first card that you've got in your recent past is the Ace of Pentacles, and I really, really like this because this is your ace, right? This is the ace of the material, right? And by the material, I don't necessarily mean your finances, but it could well refer to that. It talks about, you know, everything that you can perceive with the 5 established senses around you, right? But more than that, it can also talk about those things that you cannot perceive, because I see the Pentacles as resources. I see them as things that are important to you, right? So if you gave, I use this example for Sagittarius, I think, something like that. If you gave a donkey a pentacle, it would look at it and it kind of nose it around and go, "Can I eat this?" And you go, "No, donkey, you cannot eat this." And it would go, "Well, why the fuck have you given me this? It's no use to me whatsoever," right? The pentacles are about the things that are not only useful but valuable to you in some way, and they can go from everything to the food, from the food that you put into your belly to, you know, your time, your effort, your care, whatever it is. But it does speak about a new start, and sometimes we can see this indicating, you know, a new job, or you know, a promotion, a new house, something like that. But it's a solid new start with something, and like I said, because it kind of covers the slightly less tangible as well, it could be a new approach in doing things, like a newfound well of energy that you have, or a sense of conserving your energy and putting it towards things that are important. Now, the two cards that we've got to clarify are quite intriguing, because we've got the Page of Cups and the King of Swords. Now, this Page of Cups is kind of, he's sat in a boat, and he's bringing this in. Kind of, he's depicted larger than the other characters, who kind of look a bit pissed off that this is coming towards them, right? And then we've got the King of Swords. The King of Swords is about, it's the pinnacle of the sword suit, right? It's about very clear communication. It's about very clear thinking, right? And it's logic and intellect and reason and all of those things. It also deals with notions of fairness, right? The sword suit is all about, you know, things being kind of black and white in terms of fairness. And so he's here as an arbiter, kind of overlooking this. I'm just going to pull another couple of cards to see why this Page of Cups is here. There's the Page of Cups here. That's really interesting. So we've got the Seven of Wands and the Sun, right? Now, the Seven of Wands, when it's this way up, because it's come out in the reverse, talks about being guarded. It talks about being defensive. I mean, sometimes it can talk about fighting for something, right? So it becomes more of a protective, and there's a nuanced difference between, you know, protected and guarded. It becomes a protective energy, but it feels like defensive and guarded to me, right? And it's come out in the reverse. It's a moving out of that feeling of being defensive, being protective, and moving into something that is altogether gentler, right? Because it's the Sun. It's the card of, it's the most positive card in the deck, actually, but it speaks about joy in the simple things, right? The sun shining on your face, beautiful weather, all that kind of thing, right? And being that you've got a sense of something really valuable that you're holding on to here, right? It could possibly be the rediscovering of something that is really valuable to you. And what that really valuable thing is emotional states, right? Sometimes we can see the Page of Cups as being an apology, but it's these small messages of love, often, I think. And the interesting thing, what I'm seeing when I look at this card, is that he in the boat is depicted as bigger, right, than these other people, right? He's obviously sailed on the water in quite an easy way. And he's got this basket of fruit, right, like a cornucopia, right, abundance in there. And he's sailed from this island at the back, which looks, quite desolate, actually. And he's kind of come forwards. And it's like the thing that you've discovered, the thing that's really important to you, the thing that's allowed you to stop being defensive and guarded and be more happy, is discovering your own sense of emotional comfort, right? Doing it for yourself. It doesn't matter that these two people here don't care, because they're kind of smaller than you, right? It feels like a real sense of value in and of himself, because what he's holding there is the Ace of Cups, right? So we've got an Ace of Cups on this card here, being held by you, feeling bigger than everyone around you, feeling like you're filling the space more. It feels like you're giving yourself permission to fill space, take up a bit of space in the universe, right? And then we've got this King of Swords, who, like I said, is concerned with these things, about being right and wrong and being a final arbiter of justice and whatnot. It's interesting, in this deck, it's depicted sat between two pillars. Now, there were very few pillar cards in the tarot, but, there's the Tower, look at that, but it's in reverse. It's kind of echoing justice as it's sat there like that, right? And it's a sense of things kind of coming right now. You are sorting out the way that you think about things when it comes to your emotions, and it's freeing you up and liberating you in a way that you never anticipated, right? Remember, this is in your recent past, so this is kind of the energy that you've been working in. Let's see this. Tell me about the King of Swords, please. Three of Swords in reverse. Oh, got two cards there. Two of Cups and Temperance. Right. You're thinking really clearly about heartbreak and any heartbreak that you might have suffered, right? And you're letting gravity do its thing. It's kind of pulling these swords out, right? It's working with what you know is right, and what you think about situations is really, really important at the moment. Remember that thoughts have weight, they have form. You think, so what you think, you create for yourself. And it seems like you're really getting a handle on that, and you're understanding it, and you're wrapping your head around heartbreak, whether that is heartbreak that was caused to you by another person, or just like a long-running, slow, low-lying heartbreak that you've always suffered with, because it could be something like anxiety or feelings of not being good enough, or all that kind of thing. And that's why I really, really love this here, because you're swelling up to fill the space with your Ace of Cups, right? It doesn't matter if there's anybody there to fucking receive it or not, because it's for you as much as anything else. And the other two cards that we've got here are the Two of Cups and Temperance. Now, this is the card of Sagittarius, but this talks about achieving emotional balance for me, right? It's the card of Sagittarius, so it's a fire card, fire element card, but it's always depicted with water, right? Always depicted with water. There's an alchemical process going on here, and it takes difficult situations, and heals the back of them. Right? There's a sense of oneness depicted in this card, where she's got her feet in the water, but she's reaching for the moon. The moon is the inner space, but it's also this celestial body that's up in the sky, and it's something really much bigger than yourself that is also you, as is also the water. You're healing your relationships with other people, right? You're healing your sense of what might have gone down between you and other people, right? And you're getting really fucking clear about what you think about it. But more than that, fixing your thinking, fixing the overthinking and all those things that you've been plagued with over the last few months. I'm really delighted about this, because it's just fucking banging. It's awesome. So what's in your current energy is the Wheel of Fortune, and this is mint because this is coming off the back of the work that you've done here, right? Now, I see this card when people's fortunes are starting to improve, right? But that's not a fucking accident, right? This isn't just dropping in as a coincidence to go, hey, a random act of chance is now coming in to fix everything for you. It doesn't work like that, right? Yes, it comes in when good things are coming, but it comes as an archetype to demonstrate to you that the work that you have done, the stuff that you have undertaken, the things that you have learned, has aligned your energy, and as you are healing, so the universe rewards you by bringing those new things in towards you, right? I love it. Now, as one of the 4 fixed signs, you are depicted on this card as well, right up there in the corner. And it's really good. But this is my teaching moment card, right? And you have, this year, Taurus, turned such a dramatic corner. I'm so incredibly proud of you, I can't even tell you. Now, the 2 cards that you've got to clarify underneath are the 7 of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune, right? Now, the 7 of Swords is usually called the Thief card, and, you know, I go through this whole thing about how I see it as being risk instead. But this depiction in the said tarot is really quite different. Like, this is somebody dancing around the swords, like, on the stage. And I find this really interesting because it feels to me like you are not hiding away behind the curtain anymore, because this isn't you here, this is you here. And these are your thoughts and your words and your communications. It's how you deal with yourself. You're bringing it out into the air, you're bringing it out into the open, you know? And what's really beautiful about it is that everybody is responding, right? There are thousands of people watching that man on stage, and there are roses being thrown and all sorts of things. Like it felt like a risk when you started this process of, you know, kind of working on yourself, because it was something a bit new, and you like things the way that you know them. But you also then worked out that it wasn't really fucking working for you anymore, and actually it was holding you back and holding you down and all these kind of things. And so you took a risk and you started doing the work, and it's paying off. It's bringing dividends. You've got the Wheel of Fortune twice. I mean, fuck. Which deck do I want to use to clarify? Yeah, I want to use you. But excuse me, I also get a sense that you are like this feeling of connection that you have, like it's a very grounded connection, but it is a connection to something bigger than you. Like this is something that you're really starting to feel aware of now. This wheel coming in twice, it's almost like you can feel the wheel turning now in a way that you couldn't before, and I really love that for you. I just noticed 7 of Swords at the bottom of the deck there as well. Tell me about this 7 of Swords. This is 7 of Swords here. Judgment, lovely. Got loads of cards that are flipped there, and they're all telling the story. Like, if you were on the live stream last night, we were talking about some people were talking about what other readers have been pulling this week for Taurus, and they all said that a lot of them were pulling the Tower. Now, for me, the Tower didn't jump, but the Tower did flip. It's right there. And it's followed by the High Priestess, and it's followed by the 9 of Swords. But I feel like it's not... The Tower for you was kind of getting in touch with your internal space and healing all of that 9 of Swords energy that you have been sat in for such a long time. And because I do think that this forms part of your collective shadow, and I'll be interested to see if that comes up for the shadow read that I'm going to do for you after this is finished. It's like you're purging yourself of it, right? You're leveling up, integrating the shadow, seeing it for what it is, and relinquishing its hold on you in some way. Now, the 2 cards that you've got to clarify here, this 7 of Swords, is Judgment and the King of Cups. And the Judgment, it's got a twofold meaning, and I feel like both of them apply here for you because it does talk about the past. It talks about pulling up old things and kind of looking at them, or having them, you know, kind of resurface into your life. And it also talks about making a really firm judgment call on something, right? Because this is the fucking day of reckoning, right? So this is you know, someone making a fucking judgment on a thing. Now, the judgment is being made by you over the past, right? And in doing so, what you are doing is increasing your own emotional mastery. You know, just as you had the page here in your recent energy, that swelling up to fit your space. And I really do feel like it is, because it feels like you didn't feel like you deserved to take up space in the universe, and so you made yourself small, right? But now you're not doing that anymore. You are getting bigger, and so you're hitting this level of emotional mastery, which is so important for growth. It's so important for soul growth, right? It's absolutely fabulous. I'm really, really happy about it. Tell me about this Wheel of Fortune, please. There's the Wheel of Fortune here. Yeah, that's exactly what we were just talking about. Why is the Wheel of Fortune here? Queen of Swords. Yeah, it's like the Wheel of Fortune is clarified by the Nine of Swords and the Queen of Swords, right? Look how this Queen of Swords has turned her back on this Nine of Swords here, right? You're looking at it, right? You've got all of these 9 swords, right? Maybe they're going to fall on your head, something like that. You know, it's your overthinking, it's your anxiety, it's your worrying. It's like you've got a clarity of thought now, right? Clarity of thought that you've never had before. And you're just not about this life anymore. You don't want it. You only need one sword, and it's the Ace of Swords, and you've got it in your fucking hand. And you're going to cut out anything like that doesn't need to be in your life anymore, right? It's empowerment. I'm so proud. I'm feeling actually a little bit emotional. I love this for you, Taurus. Like, particularly when I've seen how you've struggled at times, like particularly this year. You know, incredible strides. And what you've got in front of you is the Knight of Pentacles, and I really like this because this is your knight, right? But so when we had this beginning, this start here, right? This is picking up this Ace of Pentacles, which is in the bird's beak there. It's getting itself on a horse and it's going, right, I'm going to fucking move now, right? I'm not going to move fast because I'm a Taurus and that's not in my nature, but I am going to move, right? And it's going to be slow steps, slow progression, right? But I'm going to take this thing that is really valuable to me, whatever that is, even if that's just the perception of yourself that you now hold, right? And I'm going to move. I'm going to walk. I'm going to cover some distance with it. But you can bet your ass, whenever you get to where you're going, that pentacle is going to be absolutely pristine, right? Now, the 2 cards that you've got underneath it, and I should just add that this is what's coming towards you in June. I'm going to get some more cards for it in a second. The clarifiers for it are the Fool and the 2 of Wands, and I really, really like this because the card, the Fool is the card of new starts, right? It's uncharted territory, and sometimes the Fool can be a bit naive, can be a bit foolish, right? Because he's just kind of trusting that everything's going to be okay, right? And we like that. We like a bit of trust in things unfolding as they should, and particularly when you are blessed with the Wheel of Fortune. It seems like you're taking the lessons, you know, really taking them on board, you're integrating them, and so, you know, things are opening up for you now, right? They were always there. You were just stopping yourself from getting to them, right? And now, as you are opening yourself up, we got that. Yeah, Ace of Cups, seeing your value, understanding how things are going, like so these paths are opening up to you, right? But, and this is what I really, really like about this, because the Fool can sometimes be associated with naivety and you know, and idiocy sometimes, but not often, you know. But he doesn't really have a clear plan. We've got your Taurian energy kind of coming in to kind of offset that a little bit, because it's underpinning, it's not the main card. So the main card is you headed in a direction slowly, right? But with this valuable thing, right, moving forwards. And then the 2 of Wands, because the 2 of Wands is my crossroads card, right? When you hit a crossroads, you need to make a decision about which way you're going. And I feel like your decision, rather than just tossing a coin, is actually going to be very well thought out, right? I think that's what you're doing, because you've got the Fool energy, you've got the trust that you're going to be okay, but ultimately you are still a Taurus and you like to have a plan. You like to know where you're going because you like to take little steps towards your goal, right? So you've got that underlying new start energy, but it is tempered. What the actual fuck? Jesus. It's tempered by I would say wisdom at this point, and knowledge and understanding, right? And taking all of these lessons that you've learned and using them to move forwards. It's a very powerful stance, actually, Taurus. Let's have a look and get some more cards for this. So tell me about this Fool, please. Tell me about the Fool. Oh, that's beautiful. So underneath the Fool, we've got the Three of Pentacles and the Four of Wands, right? And this is my cooperation and collaboration card, and it's Pentacles. It's those small steps, right? It's building something, right? Just like I was saying, but it's something that really makes you happy, right? This is the card of home for me, and it's not just your physical home. It is creating an environment that feels like home to you, right? And that can be people as well as places, but it can be, you know, circumstances as well, right? It's constructing a new foundation for yourself, right? The reason that the Fool is here is because this is completely new. You are approaching this with a really fresh mindset that you've never had before, right? And it augurs really, really well. Tell me about this Two of Wands, please. Two of Wands. Two of Wands. Oh, we've got 3 cards there. Yeah. So we've got the Sun at the bottom of the deck, right? Most positive card in the deck. You want the fun. You want the lightness, right? This is kind of what you're chasing now. Like, you're sick of everything being heavy, everything being, you know, burdensome. Like I've said in Taurus videos before, that sometimes, like the Leo and Taurus particularly, they treat things being hard as kind of like a validation that they're on the right path, because they're born with this innate understanding that they're really, really strong. And so when things are hard, they're like, well, I must be on the right track because I've been built to withstand this kind of thing. But as they get older, they start to get a bit more discerning, and you kind of realize that actually you don't need to take the hard path every time. It's not about that, right? So it's about looking for the things that bring you pure joy rather than pure toil. You know, the cards that have come out underneath this this Two of Wands here, this Crossroads, are really interesting because I only wanted 2, but I got 3. And on the one hand, we've got, you know, this Five of Cups. It's kind of mourning things that are lost. It's a card of grief and sorrow, but it's a card of missing what's right under your fucking nose if you just turn around and look at it, because you're too busy, you know, grieving over the loss of these. We've got the Four of Swords, which is a card of taking a break. It's taking a step back, but I feel like in this case it is actually employing a level of objectivity, right? Maybe you're meditating on it a little bit. It's kind of pulling back from the situation a little bit and seeing what it is, because this is a card of being sat in an energy that you don't feel like you can escape from, right? It's all encompassing and it's all around you when you feel like that. If you can step back, if he could just step back for a second so that he could see more, he would see that those 2 cups are already there, right? And it would lessen the load for him. So it's objectively moving back. But then we've got the Queen of Cups, which is about being open and being receptive. And but look how she's looking at that cup, right? She's choosing to love this cup here rather than mourn over these ones here. And for me, this Four of Swords then feels like a level of objectivity. You are choosing to step back, and your crossroads are to love the things that you find valuable, or to mourn things that are lost and gone, that aren't here anymore, right? And grieving is a process, and if you are in a grieving process, then you have to honour that, you have to respect it. But seeing everything that's going on here, like, I don't feel like that's relevant for you anymore. Like, this is not a relevant energy for you anymore, and you are gathering momentum moving forward and being able to be objective, being able to kind of quieten down that overthinking, mental anxiety about everything, and just experience pure love and joy for things, right? It's such a light energy for you, Taurus. I love it so much, really do. Oh, it's so wonderful. If this resonates with you, I'd love it if you would like the video and subscribe if you haven't done already. I'm going to go over to the extended now, so if you're interested in that, the link's in the description box. It's over at Vimeo. But if not, if this is where we part ways, that's all cool. No shade. And I'll see you next time.